Next time. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a very Carl Towns-esque start to our show.
Played his ass off the other night. Stop it. Go ahead.
This is the Jimmy Palumbo Show, and this is show number 266. And, of course, behind the glass, your friend and mine, Mr. Dave Sturcio. Dave, how we doing today?
Oh, just dandy.
Rough start, six hits, three runs.
Everything was good. No, you know what the worst part is? You do your first rep at the gym, you're ready to rock and roll, and then your music stops, and you're like, well, I know my shit's not dead, and all of a sudden, because it's Bluetooth, call from Denellen Public Schools, and I was like, so I answered, and Stella's got a 99.2 fever. I'm like, so that's barely a fever. Just give her some dirt on it and let her put it. No, wife had to go back in there and go get her.
Actually, my daughter is sick as well. She did not go.
Dude, I started feeling some sort of way yesterday. So something, it's you know what it is. It's this bullshit weather that nobody understands what the frick is going on anymore.
We're gonna be like a young Giancarlo.
On the 12 day.
Listen, I hope everybody feels better. Stella, if you're listening, feel better.
She'll be all right.
She'll be so my daughter, hopefully. And this is show number 266. And of course, we do the numbers game 66. And that is Venditti's favorite, David Deal, otherwise known as David Gavadil.
And David Dickhead.
Who Sturcio does not get along with. Well documented on the show. I couldn't wait to bring up his number. Of course, you got William Roberts, who played for the Giants, who won a Super Bowl in 91, I guess. And then you got Bill Berge, Eagles linebacker back in the day, good player. Then you got Joe Jacoby, Larry Little, who was an offensive lineman with a last name Larry Little. How fun, he wasn't little. Also, you got hockey star and really the number one for this number, Mario Lemieux. Then you got Conrad Dobler, which I think, again, when you give birth, if you're a big guy and your wife is maybe a big guy and you give birth to a guy named Conrad Dobler when he's 1 year old, would you agree? Like
there was
he's
one
going
guy,
to the NFL, right?
Yeah, there was one guy drafted over the last weekend, and I said, bro, this dude has hillbilly NFL written all over him. And I think he got drafted by the Steelers. He's an offensive lineman, red mullet, mustache,
you got
bred from the streets.
There's certain guys that are
or the farm.
Yep, there you go. But
I'm sorry. And by the way, Tyson, you brought up, did you really lump in TJ Bass, which is the backup lineman for the Dallas Cowboys currently right now?
I saw that and I said, I'm not going to bring up TJ Bass. But of course, you got your friend and mine, Steve Balboni, who I used to love. Bye, Balboni. He stayed bombs. He got a couple of huge hits in the playoffs with the Royals, too. If you go back and look the year they won it, Balboni, a couple second and thirds, he had a rope base hit. He was everybody knows I love the fat, flawed players who hit bombs. That's my guy. A guy like Juan Soto, I'll never wear his jersey. I don't care if you Yankees won 8 World Series, but I'm not wearing his jersey. And then, of course, you got Kyle Hagasioka, whatever. Higgy. Who's actually doing well still. And then, of course, he's still in the league, isn't he, somewhere?
I don't know. I haven't heard that name since he was here. So can't be doing that good. I haven't heard his name. I'm sure he's somewhere, but anyway, he might have been involved in that Twins trade. I don't know. Who cares?
Anyway, and also you got one of my favorite songs by Nat King Cole, Route 66. And of course, you're going to laugh at this. It goes from Chicago to LA. I actually have one of my dream bucket list things. I want to take Route 66 from Chicago to LA. I heard it's cool as hell. I heard parts of it are boring, but there's all kinds of apps now. Route 66 apps where it takes you on the original, and eventually you're on like a side street where just homes are there.
My father just got back from Key West. He kind of piggybacked off my idea. I went down there with my bonus mom Barry, and he said he's like, and he's like Route 1. I was like, oh, funny. It's like the Route 1. He goes, no, it is the Route 1.
Is Route 1. You didn't know that? Route 1
I knew it went far, but I was like,
goes Florida? All the way to Maine, bro.
There's a friggin' sign in Florida that says like something, and it says like Hoboken, New Jersey, 1,600 miles. I'm like, what?
Awesome.
Like, that's crazy.
Listen, I remember. I actually bought a book at it was like a garage sale. It was called Route One. It was just pictures of the whole. And I'm like,
You would.
and part of me was like, you know what? Someday I'm going to get my car, get on Route One, and go to Florida on Route One. It'll take me 9 days, but you get to see every. I'm guessing Route One has every shitty neighborhood all the way down to Florida.
Oh yeah.
And so they created the interstate system in the 50s under Eisenhower. The things you learn on this show.
Yeah, that's
and of course, Route 27 in Edison, Colonia there, that is the Lincoln Highway, which was the first all the way intercontinental highway. And things you learn. All right, kids. Well, which brings us to, I know this guy just rolls off your tongue, the baseball card segment of our show. And that would be your friend and mine, Richard Hidalgo here.
Another Higgy.
Another Higgy. Well, listen, this guy, played 9 years in the bigs, batted .269, 171 home runs with about 560 ribbies. He was on Houston, the Mets, and Texas. His best year was probably, I think, 2000. He batted .314, 44 home runs, 122 RBIs. A little bit part of the steroid era. He was from Venezuela. With the Mets, though, he batted .228, but he hit like 21 home runs, not in a full season. So 2004. So I don't remember him as a Met because, you don't remember.
Hidalgo, you said?
Yeah. So
I remember him on the local front. So
in the playoffs, he was 0 for 6, then 1 for 4, and 1 for 8. So he was against good pitching in the playoffs. He sucked. He was traded for the Mets this is a connection for you Yankees. He was traded for the Mets for a aging David Weathers, whose son Ryan Weathers pitches for the Yankees now. What else I was going to say? He made $12 million, though, in 2004. He was shot during a carjacking in 2002 in Venezuela and came back to pitch. He's like a young Plaxico there. Oh, my God. He also hit 5 home runs in 5 consecutive games. That was a record, I think, at the point. I'm sure it's not now. No. And in 2008 in Florida, he tried to create a field of dreams, and the Florida town said, you can't do it. He also is a little footnote. Oral Hershiser once hit 4 batters in a game, and 2 of them were against Richard Hidalgo.
He must have leaned in. I can't imagine him just pegging him.
He was definitely part of. I got a question for you. He was part of the steroid era, but in your mind, what is the steroid era years? I had to look it up.
The steroid era years to me is when it was exposed to when McGuire and Sosa were doing their thing in 98. Now, everybody knows eventually that it turned out to be Canseco doing it in like 88, but so the steroid era to me is probably when it got revealed and not so much when they were doing it. Because I'm assuming they're all doing it in the early 90s, but nobody knew.
Well, according to the interweb, it's like the late 80s until the mid 2000s. But really, it seems to be 91 to 2004. Of course, 91, they were doing it like in gyms across the country. And then it got worse and worse and worse. Until
I say let them all do it. Even playing field.
Well, that's what they, when I did that movie, The Family, Luc Besson, I got into a discussion with Luc Besson over and he was like, he's a big fan of that bike rider. What's his name? The French guy. And he was like, why don't they just let him, it's his body. Yeah. He's like, why don't they just let him
French
do
guy.
it?
He's American, is he not?
No, but he won the
French Open with one nut.
Yeah. Half a nut. I tell you, I'd give my left nut to ride like that guy does.
Now, if you only have one nut, is it still your right? Like if you lose your left, like is it considered your right or is it centered?
I don't know what happens there.
Right? Where's the doctors out there? Everybody
far as I know, I'm doing okay. Down below there at Shea, I still have 2 balls as big as anyway, this show went from Lincoln Highway to
nuts
ball talk, and that's the nature of the show. I'm sure I'll get a text from. I got to give a shout out to the Tysons and the Hogans, otherwise known as Tyson Hogan and Darryl Clark. I know you posted Dave's still in tears over his his pussy cowboy shirts that were sent to him. A Larry Brown shirt.
I did make fun of it though, in the sense of like, you can make the argument that Neil O'Donnell was the MVP of that Super Bowl, but Larry Brown was the one who caught those passes. So thank you to Darryl Clark. You're the man. I saw a package from him and I'm like, this isn't another cake. You know what I mean? This is something different. And I opened it up. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? And then just awesome.
I know you're dieting now, but you know what? The jersey, the cake, that's a pretty good round one matchup right there.
Yeah, no, it's gonna go. It's gonna go all 15. We'll just say that. Yeah.
All right. Well, shout out to those guys, and hopefully they'll come up to a Rutgers game, or or they might. I'm gonna try to get them up for the beer league shoot in June and July, which that'll be fun. Also Patreon, we are at 58. I did a little. Looked over all my Patreon numbers to see whose credit cards are dead and all that stuff. So we are still at 58, a slight mire. And I got to give a shout out to the first guy, Alex Stetsena, Ramsey's Finest. He was my first official Patreon member, and he'll be known as the Dan Ford of Patreon, who hit the first home run in the renovated Yankee Stadium in '76. Venditti just flew off the road right there. He ran around the bases fast. He was one of those guys that didn't hit home runs. I digress here, Lincoln Highway. And a shout out to my sister, Mary Eileen, and my mother. Hope you're feeling good, Mom. And my sister, Mary Eileen, who is just gets everything done. She's a beast. She's LeBron. And that is it. Those are my Patreon. I'm not saying we're kind of mired in a slump at 58. We need a 59, which, of course, a lot of people in this business, they are chasing miracles. And of course, Dave Sturcho late on the draw as always.
Well, you know, it's like, just to read your damn reader. Your body needs.
Chasing the shit your body needs. That's right. These are stem cell patches. They create an immediate effect for your body to repair anything that's wrong with it. Internally, shit your body needs. Energy, better sleep, non-invasive. Give Tommy and Donna a shout. Go to chasingmiracles.com. I texted her. I should be hearing back on whether Dave Sturcho will finally get some product. No needles. You can pee in the cup. All fans 18 and over. Go to chasingmiracles.com. Now, we went through that relatively quickly. Why? Because every now and then at Shea, did Mets fire? Mets didn't fire the guy, did they?
No, I heard Donnie Baseball, though, was taking over for the Phillies. That's what I heard. My buddy texted me right before we went live that Mattingly was taking over for the Phillies.
They gotta hire what's his name right away. The guy in the Mets. You gotta hire him. The Mets. Cora.
Oh, that's not a bad play, I guess.
It's not a bad play, believe me.
You're right. He's available. Well, why is Cora? Wait, Cora with the Phillies? No, Cora was with the Red Sox.
He just got fired.
Wait. Cora, the manager of the Red Sox, just got fired?
Ladies and gentlemen, public service announcement. Dave Sturcho's phone and his internet have been down.
I'm trying to leave the phone off to the side because if I go diving into the phone, I'm not coming back. So,
you didn't know they fired?
Did it just happen?
It happened like 3 days ago. They fired everyone.
Jesus fucking Christ. No, I didn't know that. Sorry.
And you think you're going to be watching Cowboy games?
Dude, you have no idea. Like, I was blessed to get into the draft as heavy as I did. And then I got to watch I didn't even get to watch the Knicks. On Saturday. I'll get into that with you and your guest because I have a couple questions when it comes to the stand-up comedy world.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's hold off on your lack of knowledge of sports right now, and you're usually on top of it. When I know more about what's going on than
Thank you,
you're caught up in Caleb Downs, who dropped to 11, and we still got the best player.
Dropped. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you dropped. The Giants had a brain fart and then twice. How do you pass on this kid twice? I have no idea. It's going to haunt them for years. I can't.
No way. You got the better player. He's a beast.
Yeah, why?
Averill. First of all, Averill, that sounds like something.
Oh, yeah. Malik Neighbors seems to agree, by the way.
No, please.
Neighbors is like, wait, where's he going to play? We got too many edge rushers. Like, you said that on live TV, Malik? Yeah, you're toast, pal. I'll see you on the fucking unemployment line very soon.
Or he's healthy. He's going to score like 12 touchdowns.
More.
All right. Well, listen, we have someone waiting here in the booth.
Yes.
Your friend of mine. This guy is a comedian. I've known him since probably 1999 in the great city of Los Angeles. We did some shows together. We were on the bill, these what I call little shitty shows in LA at the time. We were younger comics, as they say. First time I saw him, he was part of the Jimmy and Joey show, which he's gonna laugh at. But he has done a bunch of shit. I got all kinds of unique questions to ask him. Let's bring on the show your friend and mine, live from California with horrific lighting. It is Jimmy Della Valle, who absolutely now the over and under on how much time you prepped your segment on this show. I say it's 8 seconds.
I would say I'm taking the under.
Dude, I've been trying. No, because I have this. Because I live in fucking paradise now, and the sun is on all the time where I live.
Okay.
Normal.
Well, you're on your laptop. You can position that in another area. I have skylights too. You know, that's not just a California.
Well, I can move it. I just didn't know.
You're worse than me setting up. There you go.
There you go. Now we're getting light. There. Look at the mug.
Look, there you go. I went and fucking put
That's
that.
perfect.
Oh,
there you go.
My cat, my fucking kitty cat.
All right.
Oh, you said you sat on your cat?
No, that's my cat who passed away. My favorite kitty cat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, listen, this was another perfect start to a guest segment on the Jimmy Palumbo Show. So, Jimmy Della, and you say Della Valle, right? You don't say
Della Valle. Yeah. You know,
right.
it's so funny too because it was always Della Valle. My mom, because my mom is that's the Irish part because she's not. Della Valle is my Italian name, but she would always say Della Valle. And I remember when my wife from Brooklyn, who's fucking rules everything in my life, she goes, it's Della Valle. It's got to be Della Valle. I know it's Della Valle. It's been Della Valle my whole life. It's Della Valle. Saying it wrong. So then my cousin, who's like, he was like a Mexican or Spanish, whatever the hell he was at the wedding, and my mom would always go, "Oh," she goes, "Oh, that's Mike Martinez," and my wife goes, "It's fucking Martinez. What is wrong with your mom?" My whole life, I call him fucking Mike. This is my cousin, Mike Martinez. Like,
That's very funny.
Yeah, it was true. It was fucking.
All right. Well, we'll refer you as Jimmy D, which you go by. Occasionally. So listen, I have a couple of quick now. Number one, you got a special coming out, Colorblind. You got a film coming out called Mandate. I want to talk about that, but I got to ask you right off the bat. I don't remember ever talking to you about this. You were on America's Got Talent in season 2. I want to know what was the process. Where did you audition for that? What city? What was going on? How did that all go? I think people want to hear that.
So, all right. So the rumor has it, and I know it's true, I was the best Jimmy of Jimmy and Joey ever. And that's what everyone said it, right? And meanwhile, he had 1,800 fucking other Jimmys, right?
I'm a little partial to the first one, but that's all right. Go ahead. You remember the first one. I do.
Yeah. Well, you mean his brother?
Yeah, they were funny.
Yeah,
you did it different. It was different show. You did it different. You did you.
But I was the one who brought it to TV. I brought it to everything. We were at Fox for our own show. It was a whole thing, and just working with that guy was just brutal. It was
I'm friends with him. Easy.
Yeah.
Some people aren't business savvy. It's just
there you go.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So
you're the only one friends with them. But anyways,
that's not true. Come on, he's not here to defend himself. So
because he'd have to fucking climb on a fucking ladder to get in this.
No. Come on. Well, tell me how you lost on America's Got Talent. How about that?
So we didn't lose.
You didn't? You won America's Got Talent?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we got a standing ovation every time. And I went to the producers and said, I don't want to be on the show. And Joey was like going, oh, yeah, it's going to happen and blah, blah, blah. So they loved us and they were doing a whole segment with us. And I said, I don't want to be. And I no longer wanted to be with him. And that's why we did not continue on. And you never see us get kicked off.
So you quit America's Got Talent?
Yeah, I quit the show.
Why did you do that? That's crazy.
Because I could not stand the guy.
All right.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
He was the hardest guy in the world to get along with. I don't know how you got along with him.
I get along with him. Listen, I've been trying to get rid of Stern Show now for about 3 years.
You'd be lost without me, Jimmy. You'd be lost.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if we're on Sirius Radio, I'm not quitting. I'm not going to walk away. Anyway, I thought you guys just got eliminated like everybody else does. All right, the other question I got, I know these are unique things on your resume when I did my research. It looks like you're having an earthquake there. I'm
holding it up.
What did you do on what did you do on SNL? I know you weren't a regular, but like I know
Yeah.
But what did you do on there? I find that
I come in and I would do sketches every once in a while. And I remember I was doing this one sketch with Will Ferrell and the Horatio. It was a humongous sketch. And I remember I go to Ferrell and I go, hey, man, I go, this sketch is really funny. I go, you think it's going to get cut? And he goes, and all Will says to me, he goes, there's no way. He goes, none of my sketches get cut. Right. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, all right. Right. And I remember we were like rehearsing and Barry Sobel was there or whatever the hell he was writing for the show because he was buddies with Fallon. And what it was it was called the clown sketch. This was one of them. It was where Sean Hayes was the the news reporter. Sean Hayes was a news reporter, and he goes, yeah, he goes, oh, there's a clown, a pile of clown cars have gotten into a car accident. It's crazy. It's pandemonium everywhere. And all these people just kept coming out of the same car. The clowns. They were all clowns. Right. So fucking funny. And I was the EMT. And I remember running up going, are you okay? And when I tell you, the director of First AD, I can't remember who it was. He, as soon as I went into the camera to do my fucking line, he pulled me back, like threw me back 10 feet. Like I was like, are you all, come on? I got thrown back in the clouds and they were back in the clouds and with the cameras. I remember watching going, what the hell? Like I didn't get hurt, but it was crazy.
Is that part of the skit?
It was not because the way they blocked it. So, but I was like, I had to get my line in, but I got pulled out of the scene.
So they literally called an audible mid-scene.
Oh my God. And I was like, I don't want to do these sketches no more. This guy, Brian Siliki, was the doing, because you would pop in. My buddy Dino Badala, who's a comedian, he was there as I think he was like the editor or helping with that, whatever the hell it was. He was laughing. We were laughing about that before.
And now I got to ask you another thing. So now you were born in Syracuse and you lived in Brooklyn, or I have that reversed?
Yeah. So originally from Syracuse. It's so funny. My wife is so territorial because she is fucking Brooklyn. In fact, I just wrote a joke about her yesterday. I go, you know what? You're from Queens, but you were raised out in Brooklyn. She goes, yeah, I'm fucking LL Cool J. Right? I go, that's what it is. That is the line. I was raised in Queens, Brooklyn, whatever. So she's so territorial. Her and her friend Alana, who's a big lawyer in Boston, because I was always the Brooklyn Buddha. Everybody would call me Brooklyn Buddha. It was this whole thing. And then Alana would joke and go, what did he live for 2 days in Brooklyn? Well, how long was he in Brooklyn? She goes, he was in New York forever. She goes, he just jumped around. And then when we were getting married is when, I was in Brooklyn and doing that whole thing, of
right,
getting.
But you went to high school and stuff in Syracuse. Though?
Yeah. I was a great baseball player. In fact, I was supposed to be a Yankee. That was the whole plan. I was phenomenal. I had 365 batting average, and what my dad. I did a bit about it the other day. It's such a great joke. I don't usually do bits when I do these shows, but it is a true thing. And my dad's like, "You're going to be a clown?" I go, "Yeah. I want to be. I'm going to be a comedian." He goes, "No, a clown in the circus. You're not doing. I have trained you. I have trained you to be a baseball great. You can hit fucking home runs right-handed, left-handed. You're ambidextrous." At that point, I don't even know that word. I just know I can hit him right and left, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you're going to, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be and I go, no, Dad, I'm going to do comedy. I want to do comedy. And he goes, no, a clown will never make any money, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 years later, I buy a Rolex and I have it. I'm wearing the fucking Rolex. And he goes, that's a nice watch. I go, yeah, you want it? And I give him the watch. and then he would tell his friends, "A clown bought me this Rolex."
That's good. When how old? How old were you when you started doing stand up?
So I was 17.
I mean, like officially, like
17.
Like in the city.
17. Wow. Yeah. And
had that process just started with like open mics, or you just like how does that start?
So it was weird, I've always said we're all Italian, right? Everybody, right? I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with this, but I always have my whole life. My brother-in-law is black, 50 years of my family, so I've always had something with black people. I don't know if you guys ever have it where they come up. They name us something like you're Jimmy, but you're like Jay. Hey Jay, you never know that.
Sure.
Yeah, Jim. Hey Jim. They've always made up their little names for us. So I'm doing comedy by James, James. That's how I'm going on stage. And they go, Jimmy, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy. James, James. So I was James, Jimmy D, James Dean, a manager. This guy Ruffino, this Italian guy wanted to manage me, and I was like 18, and it was like what do you call it? Like you pay the money. Like I didn't pay, but it's like a retainer fee, like a lawyer. He's like, I don't really know how to manage, but we can figure this out.
Oh, you had to pay him first?
That's what he wanted to do. I never paid him.
That means that's a scam right there.
Yeah. So Jimmy D Valley. He goes like Frankie Valley. You'll be Jimmy D Valley. Just the letter D with the. It was all. I went through all these crazy names, and when I became, so then I was Jimmy D for years in New York City. Everyone knew me as Jimmy D. And then what happened was, this guy was kind of racist at this comedy club, and he was the general manager, and he was like, "Look, you're not black, you're not Jimmy D. What's your real name? I'm not putting it on the lineup." And I go, "Well, everyone knows me as Jimmy D." And I'm sitting there with Patrice and everybody. He goes, "It's fucking Jimmy D." He goes, "That's his name," and blah blah blah. And they're all saying Jimmy D. And he goes, "No, what's his real name?" And they put me down as Jimmy Della Valle. That was the first time anyone really had saw my name.
There you go.
I had pitched I would call club, "Hey, how you doing? It's Jimmy D." Tony Camacho, the legendary manager, he thought I was black forever.
Got a black name.
He goes, "I thought you were black." He goes, "Hey," if you ever talk to him, he's like, "Hey, I thought you were black." And I'm like, "I thought you were Italian," because Tony Camacho was always crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
It's
I thought you meant
a lot of name, man. And then as an actor, they would always go, "I love that name." I go, Jimmy Della Valle, when I would slate, and people would love it. And I felt sometimes I booked because of my stupid name.
Yeah, well, that happens.
That's all it takes, man.
That's all it takes. Sometimes you just gotta slap it. Now, you also did a show. You were on The Sopranos. I think you had a little thing on there.
Yeah.
What episode? What episode was that?
So I came in. In fact, this is actually great that you're bringing that up, because the guy's first acting role ever was my good friend Victor Cruz, and he is starring opposite Adrian Brody right now on Broadway in The Fear of 13. So
I thought you meant the wide receiver.
I was going to say, you doing salsa?
Doing salsa with Victor Cruz?
Yeah, not Victor. No, not that Victor Cruz.
Better Victor Cruz.
Puerto Rican with freckles, great actor. And that was the first thing. And he played.
We have lost connection with Mr. Jimmy Della Valle. Let's see if that
again here.
Let's see if
in the middle of telling us about he was guarding Victor Cruz.
Yeah, he was trying to. Yeah, I don't know. Let's remove him for now. But let's see what
back
happens.
in.
He's out for now. Let's see. But anyway, so it seems like he's got himself a decent story.
He's got he does cruises now. I wanted to ask him. He does cruise lines comics, and a lot of comics. I was going to ask him, and when he gets back on, I'll ask him about what there's some
there.
There we go. He's back.
All right. So when you were on The Sopranos, what was that like? Did you get to hang out with Gandolfini and those guys, or was he not in the scene? Or
Yeah. So what happened? So I'll give you the quick thing of Sopranos. So I auditioned for. They wanted me since day one, pilot. They wanted me to play Uncle Junior's bodyguard. Okay, nice. That was what they wanted. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm driving. I'm like going to the comedy club, and they're like, "Hey, director wants to meet with you." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't want to freak it. I'm not going to drive back. I'm on my way to Poughkeepsie. They're like, "Look, he wants to meet you in an hour." Hour? What are you talking about? So I couldn't go till like Monday, and by Monday they had already grabbed it. And you know who ended up doing it? God rest his soul. Do you remember Craig Zucchero?
Yeah.
Craig Zucchero did it. So if you watch the pilot, and and he's dead, but he was a pain in the ass, and he was supposed to be right here. He's like 6'7", so here's Junior. He was supposed to be here. He was such a pain in the ass. They pulled him almost out of the scene with Uncle Junior in the pilot. Like nobody wanted to be near Craig, which was kind of sad.
Right. Again, someone else.
So no party at Jimmy wanted to like. I understand you're on your way to a gig in Poughkeepsie, but like when
they don't say it's mafia, there's nothing. There's no.
Well, first of all, I know this firsthand. I auditioned for The Sopranos like 10 times. I actually booked the role, one of the poker scenes, but they stunt casted it, and either John Bon Jovi or Frank Sinatra Jr. took my part. I remember that.
Nice.
About that. But I will tell you this. The Sopranos pilot, when it was shot, was not, you got to remember, shows, especially back then on HBO, wasn't like HBO of today. And that show was not a huge pilot at all. Matter of fact, my buddy Jack Layton, who's a agent over at APA, I met him for lunch because we used to go out and lunch, and while he was having like coffee, I'd have like a cocktail in Beverly Hills. And he goes, "Jimmy, I got a quick meeting." He threw a tape at me and said, "Hey, just watch this thing. It's about some Jersey people. I don't know, mob shit." I put the tape in, and I was like, "This is like, I'm from there." Like the turnpike sign.
This is my wheelhouse.
He comes back, and I'm like, "Dude, what is this?" He goes, "Yeah, it's some pilot, and we're not sure what's going to happen with it." Next thing you know, boom. So it was not at the time. So I could see how maybe it was just a audition you couldn't get back for. So, we all look back.
They didn't tell me. They didn't tell me anything of it. And then what happened was, just to let you understand, I auditioned, and Georgianne Walker kept bringing me in, and she's like, Jimmy, and she would tell me, she'd break my balls about it. And she'd go, we wanted you since day one. She goes, your headshot was one of the best headshots we ever saw. And you've seen the famous black and white headshot of me, Jimmy. You've seen it before. If you bring it up, it's a phenomenal. I mean, it was actually number one on IMDb. My headshot, which was
and though there was a ranking of headshots, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really like this black and white leather. So what happened was they start bringing me in, and then all of a sudden, what happened there? How did that go dirty right there?
Because you're in LA and it's smog.
No, that doesn't make sense. It was fine. So what happened was I'm doing auditions, and I'm going in, and I'm getting a call back every time. They go to Silver Cup Studios. So Meredith Tucker, Boardwalk Empire, is the assistant, right? You remember, right?
She booked me on Boardwalk.
Right. And Georgianne is there, and she goes like this. She goes, "Hey, Jimmy," and so then she says, I'm done. I don't want any more callbacks. I'm not booking. I'm getting pissed off. So then what happens is she says, "Jimmy, call back. It's a recurring role as the poker dealer," which is crazy. So as a comedian, you start thinking in your mind. Now the show's already hit. It's like season 5 or something, and they've got Bernie Brillstein in the scene with me. Who you remember if you watched the show? The famous black football player. He's in there. It's Tony's game. So you I'm dealing 3 episodes. Everything's amazing. That's what I booked, a recurring role on the show. So then I get there, and they say, and I'm waiting, and they go, hey, we're just waiting on somebody. We're just waiting on somebody, and I'm not thinking anything. And then fucking he goes, hey, hi, I'm Jim. He says, I'm Jim, and it's Gandolfini.
Nice.
Shakes my hand. He sits down with me. Now, Jimmy, you did the show, right?
I know. They stunt casted with.
So you never did. So
no.
What happened was, Jimmy sits next to me, and he's like really nice to me. We're talking, and he starts. That's how he acts. I don't know if you know that. He'd make a lot of noise in the table read. People are reading, and he's making noises. That's his method, right? He's banging my fucking knees. Bam, bam, bam. I mean, my leg was black and blue from him banging my knee the whole fucking table read. Like, you don't understand. It was almost like, how you're like, we're men, but you're kind of like, oh. Like,
you sure he didn't have like a twitch or something, or is that just a method thing?
No, that's his thing. He he grunts.
Could have been something out of Miami too. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he does that. He does that. That's kind of his method. So then what happened was, he's like, hey, I'm sorry if I was hitting your legs. I'm like, oh, you only did it 500 times. I should be okay. Right. I go to the bathroom, I take my leg down, and I was talking to Imperioli, which you'll probably not remember. And he goes, that's why I don't sit right next to Jimmy. It's what he said to me. I was like, oh,
right.
You weren't prepped for it.
No, they were giving us so much food on the set. Like, I'm surprised we weren't killed. Like, I was no big deal. They would bring like old Italian ladies. They would just bring cakes, and food, all pastas, and you would just eat. That was your craft service.
That's great.
Of all these,
I would have enjoyed that for sure.
Dude, it was, oh my God. So then, and what happened was, right before I read, when they go, hey, we're switching something up. You're only going to do 1 episode, David. And they go, David has a situation, and that's why, blah, blah, blah. He goes, he owes a favor to somebody. And that he gave his old fucking high school buddy the part. Yeah. He did a few.
That happens a lot. It's
like Jimmy. It's like Jimmy Palumbo booking me for Beer League the series,
So I got rich. Yeah, I did the Beer League the series table read. I got nothing. Who got for this fucking guy? Right?
Wait, is that right?
Yeah. Oh. There was no part really for you. Plus, I had to give it a Sturcio.
Yeah, sorry.
Another question I want to talk to you about.
Actor took your role. Sorry.
Let me ask you this, and this might be probably going to be hard for you to answer, but maybe you can. A lot of my friends do cruise ships. I really want to. A lot of comics talk about it, and I do shows with comics that go on and off cruise lines, and you do a lot of cruise ships, which is really cool. What are like what is the lifestyle like, and what are the positives and negatives of doing cruise lines?
So
obviously the money's awesome, but
yeah. So here's the thing. I'm just cleaning this fucking thing.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's perfect. Now he's a stud. He's perfect. Now he's just getting some boom in there.
Oh, look. I cleaned it with the fucking look. Fuck you guys. I got the real Yankee hat.
The real one.
Look at this.
You first of all, you don't use a Yankee shirt to clean your screen. You use a Mets shirt or a Red Sox shirt, okay? By the way, we're all wearing Yankee hats.
Yeah, I know, because we're actually doing well, so it's all right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so fucking great. So, yeah. So here's the thing. So, Jimmy, and I mean, here's the thing. I'll put myself up now against anybody with stand-up comedy because of the cruises. Like, I was always a good comedian, but never really cared. It was almost like I was just going through the motions. And when I got on the cruise, they go, you got to do 30 minutes clean, which I'd never done. So I do bits about talking about doing clean. It's like you got to do 30 minutes clean, and they go, and then you got to do another 30 minutes R-rated, and then do a different 30 minutes R-rated. Well, so that went for about 6 months. So I'm doing 90 minutes there, and then I pushed it up to doing 5 completely different 30, 35 minutes, right?
Right.
On the thing. And at one point, I probably did 9 completely different 30 minutes.
So if you're on like a 7-day cruise, 6 nights, right? You have to have something like different every night, right, at the Rock?
So here's the deal. There are sometimes I do 10 shows in 2 days.
Jesus Christ.
Which is crazy.
That's a
lot.
It
could start at 2 p.m. and I'm ending at 12:30.
Wow. Is it one flat rate? I'm not asking your rate, but I'm saying, like, are you just paid per cruise, or you paid per show? How's that work?
The way it works is for Carnival Cruise Lines, which is my favorite, and I've done Princess, I've done Holland, Carnival for comedy is my favorite. There's no better. It's like being in any comedy club, anything. In fact, we just went from PG shows to now they just changed it to PG-13, which is fantastic.
You could drop your shits and your dams every so often.
You can, I guess, but no. I mean, we're not going to, because we're pros. We've been there for so long,
right?
But I think that's because some people might not be able to do the PG. I mean, I've done the PG, and the thing is,
I struggle with doing PG. I'm afraid I'm going to slip in the middle of it. It's just like fucking shit.
Well, the funny thing is, the people will come in and like there'll be some like hot lady and shit, and I'm dirty in the adult show. Everyone's going crazy, and the next afternoon or something, she's got her little adorable daughter, and the lady is like, "Oh my God, I loved you so much. I thought about you all night, and I couldn't wait to bring my little daughter to see you." And I'm thinking, I was filthy in the adult show, and now you're bringing a kid? She's like, "Well, yeah, but they said you got to be clean." And I go, "Yeah, but it doesn't mean I could be clean. You just saw me be dirty." So it was hilarious to me. So then I just started writing jokes about, they're bringing their kids, and I'm going, "Hey," so I'm looking at the kid, and I'm going, "Oh, so where are your parents?" They go, "Oh, they're in the casino." I go, "What, they dropped me off? Or what am I, the babysitter?" So it became this thing of like developing. Every ship I'd go to, I'd start thinking about, oh, this is my cabin, and this is what people at the buffet, and you just start writing all these jokes.
But what about, like, you have to be out of town? I know, first of all, I have, I have a child and all that stuff. I couldn't. Some people have gone for like 4 months, except maybe a week in between. Like, what's it like being on the ship, being out of touch?
Right. No, the most I've ever did is like on Holland. I did 1 month. I went for 2 weeks without my wife, 2 weeks with her, because we went to Alaska, so it was gorgeous. Nice. But normally, like, Jimmy, I'm only gone for 7 days at the most, because the way it works is the more cruises I do, so I don't have to do. So let's say you go with your daughter, right? And you're like, "We're going to go see Jimmy D." Well, guess what? Jimmy D might only be on that cruise for 3 days with you. You're on for 7 days. I'm only there for 3 days.
How the hell do you get off the ship?
So they'll throw me off in Honduras, Belize, wherever, and that's my.
And you get on another ship from there?
Sometimes, or I come right home.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
The acting.
I would think after a while, I mean,
the travel.
I was on one cruise. I get it, but I would lose my mind. I would get claustrophobic. Like, get me off this cruise.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I mean, like I said, learning to do comedy on the cruise with all those people, it made me so strong.
For sure. Comedy wise, it definitely. Listen, first of all, you get the opportunity to have
the reps,
and the reps, yeah, sure.
I'm doing 250 to 300 shows a year between land and ships every single year. So
I know for a while it affects your acting career a little bit, right? Because you're not around, or are you doing self tapes from the cruise?
So here's the thing: right before I left, they really wanted me for this new prequel for Bosch, the new prequel that was last a week and a half ago, and I just told my manager, I said, I can't. I can't cancel the cruise. I said, if you're giving me the straight offer now, they go, well, they really want to meet with you. You're on the short list, blah, blah, blah. Recurring role. Every actor, you're an actor. You're gonna jump through those hoops. Well, normally I would, but I'm making good money on the cruise. So I turn it down. I'm leaving that next morning. They're like, hey, they just want to do a Zoom with you tomorrow morning. And I go, you're shooting the 15th to the 22nd. I go, I am in Hawaii from the 12th to the 23rd. I'll be at sea. I can't do. So I had to pass on it. So she was mad. She's a big manager too. She was mad about it, but I booked out. That's what my wife's like, why are they breaking your balls? You booked out. And I go, no, I know.
Yeah, if you book out, it's on them.
Yeah. So she was like annoyed. So then I get there, and then within a day, she's like, hey, you have a nice role with Seth Rogen and Ike Barinholtz for the studio, you know, that Emmy show, you know, the show, right? Yep. So I go up for that, and then I was just on hold for that, and then I didn't get it, but I thought, you know, they were like first evals, and I was like, you know, and it was like, okay, and I would have been getting off the ship and running to the set. It was literally shooting the 23rd.
Not calling either of you guys old, but at this point, I think less is more. Like, if somebody's guaranteeing you something, you got to roll with that rather than this whole rushing around rat race shit.
Listen, I have made, as crazy as it sounds, but let's just say I've made well over $1 million working on cruise ships.
That's a beautiful thing. So I gotta ask you and Jimmy, because this actually is a perfect question and a good segue to the stand-up world. Over the weekend, I went to I was in Rahway, New Jersey, and I saw Preacher Lawson. Preacher is one of the funniest dudes going right now. He actually was America's Got Talent, right? So that kind of ties in. He's funny as shit. He's very clean too, right? He doesn't curse a lot, or if at all. But the show was basically ruined by two drunk ladies to the right, hecklers. When I'm talking about hecklers, they thought they were like in with the guy because they were like, because he was finally starting to clap back at him. It's like, hey guys, you know, like, hey, you know, ease up over there. You know, the whole show, I feel like if he had a 45-minute set, 35 minutes of it was him just trying to get these people to shut up. Yeah. And I'm like, we got a decent amount of jokes, which is cool, you know. Right. We pay good, you know, decent money to get there. I'll ask Jimmy Della Valle first. Like, have you dealt with a heckler? Like, because he got pissed, like visibly pissed. And it wasn't until like 3 minutes before the show was supposed to end that security comes in and removes these people. And then he does like an extra bonus 15 minutes because he felt bad. He wasn't able to deliver the goods, but he was shook the whole time. He was just like, this is insane. I've never had somebody not listen to me saying like, hey, be quiet. They just kept going, okay, baby. Okay, baby. Like, they were just like loud, drunk, obnoxious. Have you dealt with that? And if so, not so much on the cruise ships because you can't really like remove them off the ship. But like in your career, like how do you personally deal with somebody like that, like a heckler that just won't shut up in security and just not doing their part?
Okay. So if that happens on a cruise ship, which it has happened, I normally shut you right down and this and that, and I can have you removed. But if I remove you, they're going to go to guest services and they're going to complain. And that's $1 billion corporation. They can always replace me. They want the people. So you have to kind of let it go as much as you got to kind of like, you see all these videos, this crazy stuff, people running on stage and this and that. Well, I know great comedians that I came up with that were working on the ships, and they've been attacked, and my buddy knocked the guy out, or he defended himself. He's off the next island.
So you got to play ball when it comes to a cruise ship, but like
you got to run away like a pussy. You got to run away. You can't defend yourself.
I got beat Friday night. I was mad at myself. I was doing a 30-minute set in Pompton Lakes, and a bunch of I don't want to call them white trash, but blue collar guys having a good time. Most of the
White trash, go ahead.
99% of the crowd was awesome, but there was a table to my left, a big long table, almost even with the stage. And I'm like 17, 18 minutes in, rolling along, doing a decent job. And they were so loud. And then they started throwing bread, from the beefsteak. When you put the meat on the bread, they started throwing little pieces of bread around. And normally I could get through that. But when you're at a room like that, it's not a comedy club. I would have said something like, hey, I smell dick. Did you burp? Something like that to get the crowd going. But you can't do that because everybody knows each other. And I tried to say something. It didn't go. And then I realized, you know what? I can get off stage now. I've done shows with the headliner so many times. And I just was like, I just said, I literally ended my set short, which no one cared. And I walked over to the headliner because the host was bringing him up. I was like, dude, I'm out of here. I can't take this crap here, these jerk offs. But I was mad at myself that I didn't fight through it. But you know what? There were 25 people at a table. They were loud. The audience was distracted. And on the way out, some guy just said, hey, man, that table screwed you up. I was like, you know what? I got paid. I'm going home. Goodbye. It doesn't always, not all comedians handle it well. And it gets ruined for the
rest of the audience.
All these kids now, all these people are doing crowd work. And I will tell you, I hate crowd work. And here's why. On the internet, on Instagram, it's awesome. You get that 30-second dinger. But what you don't realize, the guy was doing crowd work for 6 minutes, and 5.5 minutes of that were intolerably awful for the crowd. The other side of the crowd doesn't even see the person. They don't know what's going on.
That's exactly what happened, Jimmy.
Yeah, and I've seen it so many times. So, but for the internet, crowd work is awesome. But for the audience,
the guy, what's his face, Matt Rife or whatever, he's made a career off of crowd work. You know what I mean? Like the guy just all he does is roast people.
He's good at it, no doubt.
Yeah.
But, again, he's good at it. I've never seen him live. I've always wanted to go see him.
Very true.
What's your
I was just curious because, like I said, my experience was ruined, right? And I'm like, what the? The only saving grace is I kept looking down at my phone and the Knicks were up. I was like, all right, good. Right. At least this whole night isn't shit.
Hey, Jimmy, what's your thoughts on these some of these influencers dabbling in stand-up and bringing crowds in? What's your thoughts on that?
All right. So I have so I did dirty shows my whole life. And from doing the ships for the last 11 years, I've learned how to do clean. So we started doing the cleancomedykings.com. That's my tour, cleancomedykings.com. So what happens is I told my partner, I said, look, what we're going to do is we're going to post videos for the next year. So we got over 100 million views and everything because of that's all about, it doesn't matter, dude. My comedy special is the best thing I've ever did. The distributor's blown away by it, all this stuff. None of that matters. It's these views. If we don't have these views of what's going viral now, it's put butt in seats. You got to put butts in seats, right? So you got your guys going to your stress factories, your Jersey, whatever's there, right? You've got that. But if this guy, and that's another thing. I've always said that about smoke and mirrors. So let's say a guy's got a little part on Beer League, right? You and Artie are the stars, right? And he's got a little part on Beer League. We'll go, oh, he's in Beer League, blah, blah, blah. So they're going to push him. And he's probably not going to, unless this guy's posting their social media ads. That's where it's broken through. So my tour, we just did a casino, sold it out. They rebooked us. We did another casino. We sold it out. They rebooked us. We're going to do the Brea Improv, hoping to sell it out, right? And we're actually doing them on like Sundays or Thursdays. Because, we'll keep the whole door. You can give the Improv, whatever, but they've got, this amazing place to perform and people. So it's like the niche of doing clean. And I got really good at doing clean comedy because, I was on the ships. And when I was off the ships, there was a comedian that worked with me. And he hits me up. He goes, hey, man, I book a ton of country clubs, 55 pluses from Santa Barbara to Arizona and across the country. And he's like, 3 headliners. So it's like I've been doing these clean tours without doing my Clean Comedy Kings tour. And I'm going, and this guy's keeping all the money. And I'm telling you, this guy's keeping a ton. You know what it is to book something, and you got to go give a guy this much money. You know, we don't want to talk money here, but dude, and I can talk to you off stage, but wow, I'm blown away at what these
there is money.
Pay, man.
There's money in those.
That's Palumbo's wheelhouse. He's done plenty of those 55 and older groups where he's just like, everybody dick jokes here, and I'm like, what?
I find the 55 and over are sometimes tricky. Sometimes the audiences are great. Sometimes it's 55 and over, and it's really between 55 and 65. Then I've done the ones where it's 55 and over, and there ain't no one younger than 78 in that crowd.
No, I'm telling you, that's the thing. It's funny. I had this black guy the other day, and that, like I said, the other two comics are going to kill in front of me. They're all headliners. So one headliner will open, but we're all doing the same time too. We usually do 28 or 30. That's what the book girls say to do. And we're doing it, and this black guy is up, and I go, hey, so what do you do? I go, you don't look like you belong in this 55 plus. And he goes, I'm a funeral director. And I go, Jesus. So you're drumming up work?
Oh my God,
dude!
He's keeping tabs in the crowd. Like that one's got about 2 years left.
It destroys the room.
So
that was great, and I got it on. I got it on video, and whatever. That's the thing. We're constantly videoing, and you're also like, you'll start seeing a lot of my new videos. I finally went and got the new phone. Wasn't like I couldn't afford a new phone. I just didn't want to change everything over, and it was such an easy changeover. And I got that
2-day process.
Ultra. It's like, and I just shot my comedy special, and the distributor was blown away by it. And we shot it on 2 iPhones.
Oh, well, as long as you got good audio, the iPhones are great for cameras.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. You'd be all right with that.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's it. So, anyways, that's the thing. It's the influencers. Almost
some of them are funny though. They're not all.
Dude, 100%, dude, 100%. But usually, if there's an influencer and they come, and then a guy will say, "Oh, hey, do you want to open for him at the thing?" And I'll just bury the influencer. And you'll see even his fans will come up and like, man, you should have closed. I'm like, well, you guys just paid $60 for this guy. So it's like, and I never was opening. I was always had headline. But what happened was, from doing ships, I just decided, hey, when I'm off stage, as opposed to going to the Comedy Store, going into the Laugh Factory, I'm right here. I'm 2 hours away from the city. And there's so much work here now, in the desert.
Well, listen, I want to just make sure I plug your special coming on. Is it on Amazon or Colorblind?
So it'll be on everything, but Colorblind. All they got to do is go and follow me at Funny Jimmy D on Instagram. Follow me at Clean Comedy Kings on Instagram, as well as Facebook, and they can follow that. And then
and you got a film coming out, Mandate?
Mandate with me, John Lovitch, Chris Kattan, our paisan Louis Lombardi. Me and Louis have hilarious fucking
you have a release date on that one? Is it this summer?
That looks like that's gonna be in the summer. They already did a couple screenings. That movie was actually written for Jeff Ross, and Jeff Ross is head writer. Kevin Sheeny and James Gutierrez directs it. And Kevin Sheeny does all the roast, and he wrote it. And then, once again, this is Hollywood, right? Well, Jeff was so excited to shoot it, and then all of a sudden, Broadway came and goes, take a banana for the ride, and Jeff got the thing. So Jeff was never at the table read or anything. They just had all these different guys reading it.
Oh wow!
And they're like, oh, Jeff's gonna do it, and then they go, oh, Jeff's doing Broadway, and Jeff was. I know he was upset. He wanted to do the movie, and they got Lovitz. And John Lovitz carries this movie. And there's the actor, the huge comedian star Jeremiah Wack is in it. He's the white kid. He's in all the roast, and he's great. And that'll be in theaters, right? Now. Oh yeah. So they already did like some screenings in some different theaters, and people are loving it. And I think they're doing final edits. They told me last that it was at like out of 5 stars, they go, it's definitely at like between like 4.2 and 4.5 right now.
Tell me, not to spoil whatever it is, but just tell me where comedy is heading back into the right direction as far as like, not worrying so much about the PC bullshit.
Okay, so
without spoiling the movie, I don't want you to get you in trouble.
Exactly what's happening. So my phone is ringing off the hook to do stand-up comedy because of so you got your Kill Tonys that those guys usually some can do a lot of time. That Timmy No Breaks, he's very funny, but he's doing dice, but now he's coming into his own, if you've ever watched Timmy No Breaks. So then what happens is you've now got Nate Bargatze, who's doing arenas, and he's got the most laid-back style ever.
He's the best.
And he's phenomenal, man.
Great comedian.
I could never, dude, I got to go on stage. Hey, how you doing? Like, he's just, my wife.
And he's clean, too. You don't really hear him.
I tell you what, Bargatze's, to me, where his power is, his ability to pause in a big arena and be talking, and he'll say like, so, my wife came home from the supermarket.
Yeah, he does the
and it's like rolling down, and I'm thinking, I said to myself, either I'm just the pauses are that's I don't know, I guess
it's like two sides of the spectrum too. It's there's Nate and then there's Sebastian, who's just all over the place.
And they both listen, it both works.
Of course, works, and of course, my boy
Brett. His ability to pause on stage.
Well, Brett Ernst is my good friend.
Same. We do the Jersey Boys podcast together. He's on Dallas Cowboys podcast.
Tell him you met Jimmy D.
I will. I'm going to text him right after this.
And he was third baseman in beer league.
Yes.
All right, listen, man, we got to roll. Listen, thanks so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. Jimmy Della Valle, I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks so much, Jimmy.
Nice meeting you, Dave. Bye.
Thank you. Same. All right.
Jimmy Della Valle getting involved. Couple of quick things. I think we got to just be quick about.
Yeah, motor through because I gotta head out.
You got things to do. I know. Number one, Lawrence Taylor's in the hospital still. Some stomach issues. He's my guy, LT. I hope he's
all
okay.
That cocaine really didn't do him justice.
Giancarlo Stanton did go on the 10-day disabled
list.
Yep,
they called up about 15 people to replace him. So it's perfect.
It seems like, but it doesn't seem like it's brutally bad.
No, I don't think it's gonna be that.
But with him, it takes him a month to get his swing back.
Fair.
I'm pissed off because now the Yankees are unwatchable without Stanton.
Right.
I always say that to my nephews. Like, you can't watch a game. Stanton's not playing. What else I want to say? Of course, the Knicks tonight, huge game, game 5. We need bumbling Brunson not to dribble the ball out of bounds every time. We need to get it inside to Karl Towns, and he has to have a game like he did, which I'm hard on Karl Towns. As a matter of fact, I still love Randall, but Karl Towns had a game.
Randall.
He had very similar seasons. He just did. Look it up.
It's still John. It's still fucking Julius Randle and
doesn't matter.
Totally different people. But go ahead.
I know at least Randall doesn't disappear for a quarter and a half. Karl Towns had the game of his life, game 4. I mean, he
needed to, and they got to continue that momentum tonight. Protect home court, boys. He
was he scored. He dished the ball. He was awesome. I think it was the best game he's ever had. I'm going to say it was the best game he's ever had in his career. That's how good he was. I got to do a quick laugh about me and Dave had a laugh this week in one of our rare production meetings. Countries that were downloaded in.
I forgot about this, actually.
I just want to let everybody know the Jimmy Palumbo Show is big in India, Germany, Egypt, the UK, Brazil, Vietnam, Ireland, Argentina, Uganda. We got one download.
Yo, shout out to the Ugandans out there looking at the Jimmy Palumbo Show saying this guy's
Sri Lanka, the Palestinian territories, don't want to be political, but and also Iran.
So
I'm guessing these are possibly not scams, but people doing
well at the end of the day, no matter what, when the gas prices start going down, right, and people are like, oh wow, something must be going right. Well, let's just say the Jimmy Palumbo Show might have helped we're big in Iran.
I am involved in solving the crisis in the Middle East.
Pay $90 fucking dollars a damn plumber.
Also, so that was funny to us, but sometimes I think these servers download stuff. Who knows?
Whatever it is, I was just like, hey, we're international, right?
You can't deny it. Uganda getting it.
We're big in Liechtenstein. That's great.
I also got to give a quick shout out to I am a great uncle of my
Congratulations.
nephew Eric's daughter Emery, and they just announced there will be number 2 on its way in December or November. So I'll be a great uncle twice.
And speaking of announcements, baby announcements, we can finally congratulate Natalie from Beer League the Series, because she finally came public with it yesterday, as opposed to Jimmy trying to ruin it, I don't know, 2 months ago. So congratulations to Natalie Vero for her upcoming kids.
Yes, I blew it. I blew it by saying she was pregnant, but she finally came clean.
Yeah,
and
listen here, like she was lying.
And listen, Natalie, I know you don't, not Natalie, my daughter, Natalie Vero. We love you, but what a pain in the ass for scheduling. We got to get you in there.
Come on, you got to do some. Oh boy.
We're laughing.
You can write that in, be like, is it Alphonse's or not?
I don't want to give away plot points, but at one point she was like, well, if we have to shoot in early August, I'm like, no. She'll be like, what are we going to do? Film it? We're here live at Valley Hospital.
Just wear black.
Yeah, she's giving birth right now.
Right.
Which is
crowning day here at Chick.
She's a good kid. She was into any plot we want to try,
she's awesome.
Actually, this afternoon, we're working on a couple of key plot points. And it looks like we'll be shooting June and July, about 8 days, 9 days. We're shooting a bunch of episodes. Cool. I really want this whole thing done by August 1st. I'm getting tired of talking about it. I want the series up on watch213.tv. So that's it. I'm going to be a great uncle again. The Knicks play tonight. Yankees are playing good ball. And congratulations to my daughter. She had a good dance weekend.
We got competition too coming up this weekend.
Where is it at?
Somerset.
Oh, where in Somerset?
Where I had my prom. The Hilton or Doubletree.
There you go. All right. Matter of fact, I was going to FaceTime with you and see if your daughter was around with all the girls in their costumes. I thought she'd get a kick out of that. But that'll do it here. So you'll be busy all weekend. God bless America.
Yep. Also, if you have filthy carpets, everybody, make sure you go to oxymagicUSA.com.
Good call on that. Oxymagic. OXYmagic.com. And also, don't forget, your friend and mine, Absolute Eyewear.
That's the ticker.
42 Main Street, right there, 732-326-3937. Give a shout to Craig and Jaybird Janine. And it was fun having a guest. We might have another guest next week. And that'll do it here. Show number 266 in the books. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Yanks. And Rutgers spring is over. They did not announce a quarterback, and we'll be doing our podcast. Dave, what's the title?
At least we won the tailgate, and shout out to all the Rutgers players who got drafted over the weekend, especially the quarterback who is now a commander, and you are dead to me, sir.
Hey, first of all, Kalakamakis, I said all year in the stands, everybody in section 127, I kept on saying, this guy, he throws NFL passes. Now you're backing up Jaden Daniels and possibly somebody else too. But, Jaden Daniels was made of glass. So maybe we see Mr. Kalakamakis. Also, a shout out to a couple other guys at Rutgers that signed some free agent contracts.
Yeah, UFAs is big, man. That's how you get on and just get on.
That's how you get on. You got to play well. Rutgers guys, I still say, in the history of the NFL, if you divide how many games Rutgers has won in the last 20 years, right, divided by how many NFL guys we have, I think we got to be number one in that algorithm. I mean, Alabama goes 10-2 every year, and they have a lot of guys in the NFL. Rutgers goes 3-9 every year. We got guys in the NFL. And if you're a running back in New Jersey, go to Rutgers because odds are you'll be playing NFL.
3 years in a row. We'll see.
NFL draft, Giants and Cowboys did well. So did the Jets, I think. And but we don't know who. Everybody could suck.
We'll catch up later.
We'll catch up later. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.